It's Tuesday, Boxing Day, and I hope you had a good Christmas day, no matter how you celebrate it, or perhaps you don't celebrate it. But the news continues, and all these missing boats and sinking boats. Yesterday we reported 3 boats that sank over 3 days. Well, it emerges that the situation is actually a whole lot worse than that. And ThaiPBSWorld.com reports that 7 boats sink in the Gulf and Andaman Sea in 4 days. 8 people are still missing. And 6 tour boats and a fishing vessel have sunk in the Gulf and the Andaman Sea in the past 4 days. 2 passengers, a skipper and 5 crew are still missing. So case number 1, the Sawan Tour dive boat carrying 16 tourists, mostly foreigners, on a diving trip near the Surin National Park in the Andaman Sea of Pangar province. That's just to the north of where I live here. Sank on December the 23rd. 16 tourists were rescued. 2 people are missing, and that's a 57-year-old British tourist and a Thai cook, as we reported yesterday. And case number 2 yesterday, a speedboat, the Pattaya 19, carrying over 73 tourists, capsized near Bubu Island to the east of Adang Island off Satun province. All of the passengers and the 4 crew members were rescued. Which is the case in most of these. Everybody is being rescued, but why these boats are foundering in the first place, that's what needs a lot of investigation. Case number 3, on the same day, the fishing boat, the Narathiwat and Yala, capsized in rough seas off Chang Island in Trat province, and the skipper and his 5 crew were missing. A sea search was mounted but eventually suspended due to strong winds and rough seas. They haven't gone ahead and reported the other 4 cases in this particular story. Let's see if we can dig out a little bit more information. We go to thephuket.express.com, and this is particularly about the missing 2 people off the Pangar province, just north of here. And the search has continued for a British tourist and a Thai cook after a diving boat capsized near an island in the Kuruburi district. And the Royal Thai Navy 3rd Area Command told Phuket Express that the search has continued since Saturday with both a marine and air search. A life raft, which is believed to have come from the diving boat, was found near the Pattaya Island in the Thai Mlung district, about 20 nautical miles from the incident. And 4 Russians and Thai tour guide have been rescued after a boat capsized in And then covering some of the other incidents, up the top here, about 70 tourists were evacuated after water leaked into a night ferry before it eventually sank. That was just off Koh Tao in the Gulf of Thailand. 4 Russians and a Thai tour guide have been rescued after a boat capsized in Muang Pangar. That's actually in Pangar Bay, just north of Phuket. And the tourist speedboat, the Pattaya 19, capsized near Bubu Island, about 3 kilometres from Satun's Lipe Island. That happened on Sunday. The boat carried 73 tourists, including 3 children and 4 crew members. And a catamaran carrying 29 people, the majority being foreign tourists, capsized. That was on December the 23rd near the Dongtan beach after coming from Koh Lan near sunset. There were 6 minor injuries. Well, we covered that yesterday. That was the situation of the catamaran where one hull basically broke away from the rest of the boat, putting everybody in the water. I think it was mostly Russian tourists, but everybody was saved in that particular case. We do hope that those people that are missing are found, but particularly in the case of the missing British tourist and the Thai cook, it's now been 4 days since they were missing, and I think fears would be held now for finding those people alive. Now, there has been some very severe weather, particularly down in the south of Thailand. ThaiPBSWorld.com says Narathiwat faces urgent crisis as floodwaters still rise. Narathiwat is one of the 3 southernmost provinces in Thailand on the Malay border. And the southernmost province of Narathiwat is in crisis as all 13 districts remain submerged for days, a result of consecutive heavy downpours. And scores of people trapped inside their houses have urgently requested assistance. Many were seen sitting on their roofs waiting for the rescue. as their houses are underwater. And dozens of people trapped inside their houses have alerted authorities, many of whom were spotted sitting on their roofs, waiting for rescue as their houses were submerged in water. Strong waves, and that's waves from the floodwaters, have severed the main roads linking several districts to the downtown district of Narathiwat. Rescue workers and police were seen helping people move their belongings, including cars and motorcycles, to higher ground. And all southern trains to Sungai Kolok, that's right on the border, a station in Narathiwat, will terminate at Yala station for the time being, pending a reduction in flooding. Let's go to the BangkokPost.com. Heavy flooding in Narathiwat and Yala, and 2 days of continuous heavy rain in the south has caused widespread flooding in Narathiwat and Yala provinces, affecting 67 tambons in 16 districts. Hardest hit was Yingo district, where 2,755 households with over 11,000 people were affected. The roads and houses in Yala town, particularly those in low-lying areas, were inundated, and the Tesaban 5 school in Talad Khao was heavily inundated and closed for 2 days, or until the situation returns to normal. So very poor weather in a lot of the Gulf of Thailand, including up near Pattaya, and that's brought about this particular announcement. The PattayaNews.com. Small boats prohibited from venturing out into Pattaya Sea due to strong waves. Boats inspected at the Bali High Pier. Small boats have been prohibited from sailing in the Pattaya Sea due to strong waves, according to the Marine Department. And the department raised a red flag halfway up the mast yesterday, that was Christmas Day, to warn small vessels such as fishing boats, jet skis, speedboats and towing boats of strong waves, restricting them from leaving the shore. Meanwhile, the officials descended on the Bali High Pier, and during the inspection, authorities scrutinised operating licences of each boat operator and also urged them to strictly adhere to safety measures for tourists, especially limitations on the number of passengers on board, signs demonstrating on-board behaviour, and the necessity of life-saving equipment such as life jackets. And those photos courtesy of TMN Cable TV in Pattaya. Some pretty wild and woolly weather. I think that will be abating over the next few days, but a bit of a scourge of marine safety on demonstration at the moment. 7 particular incidents over the last 4 days. Now, we haven't heard much about the former Move Forward Party leader, Pita Limjaroenrat, so here's a bit of an update from the Bangkok Post. And they say Charter Court ruling on January the 31st in the Pita MFP case. The Constitutional Court has set January the 31st to deliver its ruling on a petition against the former Move Forward leader, Pita Limjaroenrat, and the party, accused of seeking to end Thailand's constitutional democracy with the king as head of state through their election campaign to amend the Les Majestés law. And on Monday, Mr Pita, who's the advisory chairman of Move Forward and the current MFP leader, appeared before the court for cross-examination. Mr Pita said before testifying to the court that the party's policy to amend Section 112 was lawful and constitutional. He said the party was not seeking to overthrow the country's administration, and he would explain the policy in detail in court, adding that the move was intended to calm the political crisis. And he said, "I do not worry that the ruling in this case could lead to another petition for the party to be dissolved. I have no idea who would do that. It's a matter of the future. I'm sure I can clarify to the court that the policy is not to overthrow the country's administration." So we'll have to wait another month to see exactly what's going to happen with that. That's the latest in that particular court case. And we go to The Nation now. Some good news for exports in Thailand. Thailand's exports surge 4.9% in November, projected to cross pre-COVID levels next year. And Thailand's exports rose by 4.9% in November compared to the same period last year, marking the 4th consecutive month of growth, according to the Commerce Ministry. And data shared by the ministry suggests a positive trend towards a return to pre-pandemic levels, with an estimated growth of nearly 2% projected for 2024. And in November, Thai exports reached US $23.5 billion, reflecting a 4.9% growth over the same period in the previous year, excluding oil, gold and weapons. And notably, all export categories, particularly agricultural products, have demonstrated growth, outpacing other sectors. And it leads to this story from Bangkok Post: car maker giants eye Thailand. And 4 major Japanese car makers will invest 150 billion baht in Thailand's electric vehicle industry over the next 5 years. This is according to a government spokesperson. Toyota and Honda will invest about 50 billion baht each, whilst Isuzu will invest 30 billion baht, Mitsubishi Motors about 20 billion baht. And Mr. Chai said the production of electric pickups will ramp up over the next few years as investment from Japanese car makers supports Thailand's transition from combustion engines to EVs. The article says the government believes Japan can help drive and develop industries which Thailand aims to promote, including EV manufacture, the biomedical industry, the digital industry, infrastructure, agricultural development and human resource development. And Mr. Chai said Thailand is keen to cooperate with Japanese car makers who want to expand investment in the country to create mutual benefits for the EV industries of both countries. So it looks like all that time spent by the Prime Minister in Japan earlier this month has started to bear fruit with those investments from the 4 Japanese car makers in Thailand. Now, we should also remember that today is December the 26th, and it was on this day back in 2004 at around 8 in the morning that the Andaman coast was hit by a tsunami in what's been variously described as the Asian tsunami or the Indian Ocean tsunami that killed up to 250,000 people. And would you believe next year will be the 20th anniversary since that event. So we remember that today. A slightly shorter program. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your December the 26th, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.